President Trump not backing down on his promise to send in National Guard troops to the Windy City. This as crime there continuing to be a major problem, with more than a dozen homicides happening the last 3 weeks.
Our correspondent Jon Glasgow joins us live with the details. Jon, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to both of you. President Trump claiming on Truth Social that Chicago is the murder capital of the world, and the National Guard is, quote, going in to the Windy City. Watch.
Either they're naive or they're very untruthful. And he'll say, we don't want any protection. We don't need. So in the last 3 weeks, he's lost almost 20 people killed. There's no place in the world, including you can go to Afghanistan, you can go to places that you would think of. They don't even come close to this. Chicago is a hellhole right now. Baltimore is a hellhole right now.
Trump comparing Chicago to Afghanistan. Nearly 60 people shot, at least 9 people killed in Chicago over Labor Day weekend. Dozens of shootings. It marked the most violent holiday weekend of the summer in one of the nation's most dangerous cities, according to the White House. Now, one of the shootings included a drive-by attack. It wounded 7 people. Another where a teenage girl was hit by a stray bullet. Yet Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says that the city violence, it's under control. Watch.
The president's absurd characterizations do not match what is happening on the ground here. He has no idea what he's talking about. There is no emergency that warrants deployment of troops.
So Illinois Democrats, including the former mayor of Chicago, are claiming President Trump is, quote, manufacturing a crisis. Watch this.
If he comes to Chicago, he's going to be in court, and he's going to be sued by the state, he's going to be sued by the city, and I believe that there will be private interests that also sue him. This is not about violent crime, and I don't think we should pretend that this manufactured crisis and his attempt to provoke people in Chicago is legitimate exercise of power. It is not.
So President Trump says that his deployment of the National Guards to D.C. turned Washington into a crime-free zone. So he's pointing to that, where residents can now feel safe in their neighborhoods again. Yet the governor of Illinois claims that sending National Guard troops to Chicago is targeting Democrats, and it's unconstitutional.
Look, big cities have crime. There's no doubt about it. But let's just pay attention to what President Trump is doing targeting Chicago. He's overlooking red states that have much higher crime rates.
Look at what Trump's doing. However, former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich torched Pritzker right here on NEWSMAX last night. He claims the current governor is failing to protect black families from crime in Chicago.
J.B. Pritzker is the biggest hypocrite in American history, and there's a racist quality to him, because this would never be tolerated in the neighborhoods where white people live. I live in a predominantly white neighborhood, some Latino families, some African Americans, but for the most part, predominantly white. We don't have the same concerns here with gun violence and gangbangers like is happening in the south side of Chicago. And, you know, 9 people were shot. I've got updated numbers. 9 people died. 61 were shot this weekend. There were 2 mass shootings where 7 people were shot, another mass shooting where 4 were shot, and that drive-by shooting where another 4 were shot. And there was a case where a 17-year-old girl is sitting in her home on the south side of Chicago, minding her own business, enjoying a weekend night, and somebody was shooting at somebody, and a bullet went through the window and shot her in the leg. In the same neighborhood, another guy was walking the streets, and he got caught up in a crossfire. And he got shot in the leg. Fortunately, neither one of them were killed. But these are the conditions that black people in Chicago are facing every single day. And when J.B. Pritzker can call out the National Guard, like he did last August, a year ago, to protect Democratic donors and Democratic delegates at the Democratic National Convention, he ought to do it to protect black people in Chicago.
So you heard President Trump mention that Baltimore is crime-ridden, too. Well, all this is all playing out right now. Maryland Governor Wes Moore, guess where he was spotted? On board George Clooney's yacht on Lake Como. Send it back to you.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is NEWSMAX. It's real news for real people.